You're just a gay boy. I'm not trying to play, boy. I ain't thinking about you. Ooh. Today we're talking about katseye. We're talking about katseye. Finally. I have been wanting to make a video about katseye for fucking forever. Freaking forever, because I'm not trying to cuss this early. Sorry y'all, it's late. But I wanted to make a video about katseye. I'm gonna be talking about their fan base and also like just like queer people and like queerness in K-pop and K-pop adjacent spaces and that whole thing. Anyway, that's enough build up. Let's get right into it. So katseye, if you are unaware, have two queer members, like two openly queer members, period, in the sentence. Lara came out a bit ago. There had always been like allegations that she was fruity, and like she's like hinted at it, but then she just like came out and said it one time and we were all like, period, love that. And she was the first out of like a little like mini wave of idols that came out like shortly after her, because she came out and then Bane from Just Be had came out I think like a few weeks after she did, and that was amazing. He came out at a concert. Oh my god, I saw the clip and I literally just started sobbing, because like that is just so rare to see, and I know it must have meant so much for him. And as someone whose coming out was very traumatic and very not great, it just, when I see people be wholeheartedly accepted, and I'm like getting teary even just thinking about it, but like seeing people being wholeheartedly accepted for who they are and feeling confident to like just say it and just be themselves, that genuinely like that like heals something inside of me, because it's just, we need more of that in the world. You know, you don't realize how rare it is until you are faced with the reality that it's not something that everyone has, you know. And like, yeah, coming from firsthand experience, it's like the good coming outs are something to be treasured. So Bane came out a little after Lara did. This one girl, oh my god, I forget how to say the group's name. I think it's Driver, something like that. But one of the former idols from that group came out as transgender. She's a lady, and she had been like making hints about it for a while, but just never really full out said it. And then she said it one day, and it was just so supportive and lovely, and it was amazing, right? So we have these idols that have explicitly came out, and then on Live with Lara, Megan, later on, she ended up coming out as well. Like, she was just like, hey, I'm bi guys too. And we're like, period, like, period. But then after that, people got weird, and I kind of expected that, because Katseye's fan base is like 95%, I want to say 95% K-pop fans, or at least like their stands, like those are mostly K-pop fans. So in that sense, I get, like, I'm like, okay, yes, you guys are parasocial as fuck, and you guys are weird, because that's just how K-pop stands tend to be. But I didn't think that it would get this bad, because now people are like, half of katseye is queer, because you're trying to say Manon is queer as well, which I'm like, okay, like, period if she is, period if she isn't, like, it literally doesn't matter, and it's none of our business, and we shouldn't be forcing people to come out, because that can lead to some pretty traumatic stuff, and it's also just none of your business. Like, it's not something that you need to be pressuring other people to do, period, end the sentence. Like, that's just not, like, that's not like good manners, I fear. That's not very kind at all. But people don't care, because these are people on their screens and they don't see them as real people. So people are saying weird shit about Manon. They're saying like, oh yeah, she's queer because allegedly she had a girlfriend like way back when or whatever, and did like a photo shoot or whatever, which is like, okay, period. Don't know why you're over here looking up pre-debut stuff. That's something I never understood with stan culture was looking up like baby pictures and like pre-debut stuff of like these idols. Like I thought that was weird as fuck. I'm like, period. I'm sorry, I don't want a baby picture of my favorite idol on my phone. That's weird. I don't have any baby pictures of myself. Like, girl, why would I want, like, what? Like, that's weird. But I'm also like employed, so you know, and not everybody can say that, and that's okay. That's okay. But to the people who were unfortunately unemployed, or maybe they were employed and they just had too much time, not enough hobbies, they were going online, trying to dissect Manon's thing, trying to do whatever, whoop. And then eventually, like, the gay jokes got to a point where Daniela, one of the other members, like, came out as, like, straight. And it's getting to a point where I'm like, these jokes aren't funny. Like, these aren't funny. These are, like, actual people. And you need to stop assuming everything. Obviously, like, if there's coded jokes that, like, the queer community, and I say the queer community, okay, the queer community, not just some random girl who, this is gonna sound really bitchy, I'm sorry, but not just some random girl who's, like, questioning and thinks that she might be, like, interested in girls, but would never marry a girl. Not to be that bitch, but it's a lot of those that are making those weird jokes at Manon and those weird jokes at Danny, and it's a little weird. It's a little weird, girl. I'm sorry. I hate to be that person. And hey, prove me wrong. I hope I am wrong, because I don't want to clock your tea, but I fear it's those types that speak on people's queerness when it's a lot more complex and it's a lot more sacred than, you know, a lot of people understand it to be. And that's okay, you know, like, queerness is not everybody's experience, but it still deserves to be treated with, like, respect, you know. And I fear that some katseye stands are losing the plot, because why are we accusing queer members of queer baiting? First of all, real people can't queer bait. Like, first of all, let's get that straight. Real people cannot queer bait. Period. Like, no, that's not how that works. That's something that was created. That is a term that was created when shows began, like TV shows, movies, all that type of stuff, began trying to create these implied queer narratives and these queer characters, only to either kill them off or kill them off. Like, they were literally like, no gay for you, no. And it doesn't apply to real people because it's such a complex thing. And I know I said that shit about girls who are, like, questioning or whatever. Genuinely though, if you are questioning, like, that's your journey, that's your business, and it's literally like, you should stand in your truth, like, regardless, because nobody knows your experience as well as you do. And I stand by that, like, period. Like, nobody knows your experience better than you do, and don't let anybody tell you otherwise. That being said, girl, the train then left the station. I forgot my point. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, real people can't queer bait. And don't try to act like they can. And then especially when there's actual queer members, because at Lollapalooza they were doing some little, like, gay for pay on the stage, you know. Lara and Manon were, but you also can't queer bait as a real person, especially if they're queer too. I'm like, do you know the group? Like, I fear we're losing the plot, because what do you mean? Like, what do you mean Laura's queer baiting for feeling up her friend? Like, or not too much, for feeling up her, like, bandmate. Like, that's weird. And then I think Lara said something about it too on Weverse or whatever messaging platform they use. She was all like, if what is queer, how can one queer bait? Which is like, yeah, like, have you literally, I'm like, have you done any research into the group before just going on Twitter? Well, that's your first mistake, is going on Twitter, because the bitches on there don't think. But like how can you say that, especially about real people? That's just weird. But again, like with K-pop and like K-pop adjacent spaces, a lot of fans tend to view queerness as like a concept, which is, it's not fair, but it's understandable because it's treated as a concept like 95% of the time, you know? Take like Exla, for example. I think that they do some very queer, like they have very queer mannerisms, but also like it is a genderless concept as well. And I think that them going with that and, you know, expressing themselves in the way they want to is amazing. And also, it is a concept, which not many groups are brave enough to do. Props to them. But a lot of groups will do like the Pepperell game, for example, where like boy groups will try not to kiss each other challenge, you know? Like, have you seen those old variety shows where they're literally like there's these like second gen, like third gen groups like passing paper between each other's lips? Like, girl, like that's not, like, it's obviously meant to be like, oh my god, they're literally like guys, they're literally kissing, when like it's just towing the line. Because if it was like overtly like queer or overtly gay, like they would literally be like ostracized, like demonized, like banished from fucking society. Like, I fear people don't quite understand how serious actually being queer is, or even expressing queer mannerisms is. I fear that people don't understand how serious that can be until you are queer and you're expressing yourself and it's no longer safe. It's a very unique experience, and it's something that, yeah, you just cannot understand unless you've lived it. And it's very disheartening to see people treat it as a concept, because that's why people are telling like katseye like on Twitter, like, oh yeah, no, this girl, they're queer baiting, like that, yabba yabba, because like, or why people were like, oh, these boy groups are queer baiting or whatever, yabba yabba yabba, because they don't see queerness as like a real thing. Like, it's only something that's in stories or in my favorite dramas or in my favorite TV show or like on TV, you know? Like, these people that like argue and want to dissect, like, or even like dissect like, oh, this person's queer because of this, that, and the da da da, usually they tend to see it as a concept and not like these people don't have like queer friends in real life, you know? Like, they don't engage with the gay community, and that's fine. But then don't act like you're the authority on it, you know? Especially on twitter.com of all places, because nobody's an authority on anything on twitter.com, okay, girl? Like, that's a wasteland. That's a wasteland, first of all. It is coming from somebody who uses Reddit, okay? Reddit in and of itself is also a wasteland, okay, girl? I'm trying to wean off of it because, bitch, it's not it, girl. It's really not it. But yeah, I'm like, don't act like you're the authority of queerness, especially if you're not queer, and especially if you don't support or interact with or engage with the queer community in your own life. It's getting weird, girl. It's getting a little weird. Anyway, stream Game Boy. Bye.